As somebody who loves to travel hack and essentially use credit card points to travel for virtually free, I'm gonna show you the top 4 business credit cards that I have in my collection that I use every day to essentially collect points depending on what type of expense it is. We're essentially gonna look at the Chase Ink Unlimited, the Chase Ink Preferred, the Amex Business Platinum, and the Amex Business Gold. So these are all business credit cards that are essentially going to help me capitalize on the travel hacking world and generating the most amount of points depending on what type of expense it is. So I'm gonna break everything down, but we're gonna start with the annual fees, the perks, the sign-up bonuses, the spend that you have to do in order for it to make sense. So with the Chase Ink Unlimited, guys, it is a 1.5% cash back all the way through. It's a $0 annual fee. So every single person should have it in their arsenal because it doesn't cost any money to actually have it. They give you 75,000 points for a sign-up bonus, and you need to spend $6,000 in the first 3 months. With the Ink Preferred, right, they give you 3x on a special set of categories. It's mainly gonna make sense for people that are spending money on ads. They give you a 3x cash back, and it's a $95 annual fee. With a 100,000 point sign-up bonus, you need to spend $8,000 in the first month. With the Amex Business Platinum, mainly is for travel benefits, right? There's not really too many perks in terms of cash back. It's a almost $900 fee, but they're offering a crazy sign-up bonus right now that I've almost never seen before. 300,000 points with 20K in spend in the first 3 months. Amex Business Gold, this is a really great one for maximizing the cash back on your top 2 categories. It can be whatever top 2 categories, and it's $375 with a 200K bonus right now and $15,000 of spend in the first 3 months. So I'm gonna kind of break down, different expenses and where I would personally put that expense on which card. So Chase Ink Unlimited, for anything that, doesn't fall in these categories, I'm gonna be purchasing it with that because I'm gonna get 1.5% all the way through, okay? With Ink Preferred, if you're running ads of any sort, this makes sense because you're gonna get 3x on ads. With the Amex Business Platinum, you get a lot of travel benefits, but not really any cash back. And then with Amex Business Gold, 4x on the top 2 categories. Probably gonna make most sense for business dinners as well as ad spend, okay? That's what I see what the top 2 categories are for most entrepreneurs, but this can be flexible based on what it is for you personally. Amex Platinum, let's say I was about to buy a coaching program that was $7,000. Well, it's not gonna fit under ads, it's not gonna fit under business dinners or ad spend, right? So I would probably do it on the Amex Platinum. Reason being is any purchases over $5,000, they're actually gonna give you a 2x cash back. So it makes the most sense to use it on this card. Now, I wanna go into the annual fees for the Amexes because they're a bit hefty, but once you take a look at the numbers, you'll see why it makes sense. You need to be someone that travels in order to justify those fees for this card. Although for this card, the Amex Business Gold, you can get that card even if you don't travel a lot. So for the Amex Platinum, $895. I'm gonna break down all the perks, add them up, and you'll see why the numbers make sense. So we have Clear, which is $209, right? Clear, essentially you get to kind of skip the line, right? The lines tend to be shorter. Amex Lounge, it's a $50 visit. Well, I consider it $50, right? Because when you have to get a guest in, you have to pay $50. So I consider each visit $50. Let's say you travel 4 times a month. So on the way there and back, that's a total of technically 8 trips, all right? So round trip, $50, right? It's essentially gonna be $100 total with 4 vacations a year. That's gonna be about $400 in credits, right? Now, there's no way to really put a number on this, but with that said, when you go, you get free food, you get free drinks. We all know how expensive airport food is, not to mention you get liquor, right, at the lounge. So you also get Wi-Fi, get to sit down, kill time. Amex lounges are amazing, especially if you want a comfortable experience. TSA pre-check, you get to once again cut the lines. Global entry, you get to essentially skip customs or go through a lot faster. The biggest thing I would say about pre-check is that they let you get through with a lot less security, right? Because they've already kind of done the background check on you, and you don't have to take off your shoes, you don't have to take off your sweaters. It's a lot better. You don't have to take out the electronics in your bag. So I would recommend every single person get this, even if you don't have an Amex, because it's only $89 for like 5 years. It's $20 a year, guys. Dell credits. They used to give $100 every 6 months. They've changed it up. Now they only give you $150 annually. But I know you're thinking, Dell, why would I buy anything from Dell? Trust me, I thought the same thing. But you can buy a lot of cool stuff in terms of electronics. Keyboards, mouse, headphones, soundbars, subwoofers, webcam. It actually comes in very, very handy. Also the Priority Pass lounge. I didn't put a dollar amount on this, but ultimately you get to access lounges that aren't Centurion lounges across all the different airports. Some airports don't have an Amex lounge. Well, you can access Priority Pass lounges and kind of get the same perks, right? You get to eat, drink, etc., relax. We also have $600 in hotel credits. Technically, it's split up every 6 months, so you get 300. You'd have to travel twice in order to maximize the $600 credit. And you also get a $200 airline fee credit. You cannot book flights with these credits, so think of it as incidentals, potentially suite upgrades. I don't recall, but like Wi-Fi or checked bags definitely counts in those. Now, if we were to add all these up, guys, the crazy part is you would get $1,648 worth of benefits. So you're already covering that $900 just from these credits. Even if we wiped off the Amex credits, right? Still $1,250 that we're essentially net positive on, but you get the, get the perks of Amex Lounge, all right? Now, let's just say the 300K bonus, you decide to take that as cash back, you would essentially net effectively be doing a $4,700 net positive, well, not net positive, but it would be $4,700 just under in total value. If we were to subtract the 900, you would be net positive $3,800. Now we're gonna go into Amex Gold. There's not really too many perks. Amex Gold is mainly a card you spend on to get the 4x benefits. It's a $375 fee, but you get $20 a month for certain business expenses. The only one that genuinely makes sense for me personally, because I think they give you like FedEx and some weird like Indeed or Adobe credits. They don't make sense to me. Grubhub, I love a good delivery order, right? I'll probably use Grubhub every month just to get the free $20. You also get $150 a year on Squarespace. So if you're a business owner, I'm sure you have a domain. It would make sense for you to use this. And just off the rip, right? We're covering that annual fee at $390 just from these two things alone. So you can see how, yes, the fees are high and they're expensive, but if you are strategic about it, it'll make a lot of sense as to why you should actually use it every year. Now, I want to give you guys some perspective on credit card points and why it actually makes sense for you guys to look into taking points instead of cash back. So what I did here was use the Capital One Spark Plus, which has one of the highest cash backs in terms of straight money, 2.5% at 100K in spend. And then I want to compare it with what it looks like if you were to redeem it with points and then redeem award travel with those points, okay? So if you didn't know, you could essentially take credit card points, transfer them out to different airlines, and then book award travel. Where it makes the most sense is usually international travel and business class flights, and sometimes first class flights, although first class is definitely harder to come by. Let's just say 2.5% cash back, right? We've been very generous here for the cash back. It's $2,500 in money back into your pocket. Buy a laptop, buy Christmas gifts, maybe go on a vacation with the $2,500. Now, let's look at on the flip side. 100K of annual spend, we're gonna match it for both. And let's just say it's 70K on ads and 30K on food. And we're also going to be conservative here. Instead of doing 4x for both, which we could definitely get away with the Amex Gold, let's just say that we spent the food on the 1.5x Chase Inc. Unlimited card. We would get 280,000 points from the ad spend, and we would get 30,000 in food at 1.5x. That would be 45,000 points. So if we add those up, we come up with $325. Just off the rip, if we were to take this at a cashback value, you can see how just spending on a different card allows you to get more money, a $700, $750 addition to what you would have got here. So this is where a lot of people get it wrong because they're focused on getting as much cash back as possible. But for me, I don't care about cash back. My business is already generating money. I want to travel for free. That was the whole point of me being a business owner, is to have freedom, to enjoy my life, to be able to travel whenever I want, to make money online, to make money on vacation. So it all depends how strategic you are, because let's just say you don't have the business gold. 70K on ad spend would probably be 210,000 if we were to use it on the Inc. preferred. So really depends how strategic you are, right? If you don't have ad spend and majority of your expenses were something else, your numbers might look a little different, but it's still gonna be worth it, and I'll show you why. So I can't show you right now on the screen, but I'm gonna put a screenshot here of a flight that I took that was $7,500, business class flight from Houston to Dallas to Haneda, which is Tokyo, and it was actually 75,000 points and $18 through Alaska Airlines. One thing about me, guys, I would never spend $8,000 on a flight. I don't care how much money I make, I'm going to do it this way because I know how to hack the system. So let's just say that we used 75,000 points. Well, I was able to get a $7,500 flight with just $18 in fees. Now let's look at this number here, 325,000 points. I could take me and my lady there and back for 300,000 points and maybe $80. Let me not forget about that, right? Now, that's essentially anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000 worth of travel, right? And let's just say some flights that are like $6,000, it's still, even if we're being conservative, anywhere from $24,000 to $36,000 of free travel, right? Where the average person, we're like, well, we'll just take this, right? We're gonna capitalize on where we spend the money and get the most points, but we'll just take this. But as you guys can see, you're robbing yourself of an opportunity to experience one of the coolest things, which is being treated like royalty, sitting at the front of the plane, laying down. I think that's one of the coolest things. I got a bad back, so I gotta lay down if the flight is more than 5 hours. That's like the power of travel hacking, is that so many people are like, well, I just want cash back, and don't realize, I mean, our generation, we love to travel, right? We're different than our parents. Our parents buckled down, sacrificed everything. We don't need to live that life. We do need to work hard and strategically, but we don't need to just sit at home all day or not travel. We want to experience. Our generation wants to go out there and experience things while we're young. So you'd be doing yourself such a disservice if all you did was just take the cash back, when you could have enjoyed an experience that you could have never dreamed of doing for virtually free, for something that you're already doing, which is paying for expenses to run your business, and your business is bringing you profits. Well, you can live a really cool life and do things, right? Because I remember when I first started travel hacking, people were like, damn, big dog, like you're doing all these cool things, you must be killing it. They had no idea I was paying like $18 to live an experience or enjoy an experience that was completely out of my budget. Could I afford it? Yes. Would I ever do that? No. Right, I'm just going to continue to generate as many credit card points as possible and learn the game, because ultimately things are always changing in the credit card point world. Anyways, guys, this is the top 4 business credit cards that I would recommend. Hopefully this information was valuable to you. I hope that you execute based on the information that I gave you today and utilize it properly. If you don't have any of these cards, I'm gonna put the links down below so that you can apply for them directly. Another thing I would say is always optimize your credit profile. Make sure you're in a perfect position to get approved. Now, if you want business funding, I'll also put a link there. We help people get approved for anywhere from $50,000 to $90,000 at Chase alone. Amex as well. Amex lower limits, they're more charge cards. These are 0% cards. Well, the unlimited is the only 0% card. But yeah, other than that, I really hope you guys execute and dive deep into the world of travel hacking, because there's just a hidden world out there that allows you to have experience that you never thought would be possible for virtually free. Like, it sounds crazy saying it, but it works and you can do it too. You don't have to be some sort of expert. You don't have to be the smartest guy. You just need to learn that there's a world out there. Think of it like taxes, right? Once you learn the tax game, you can effectively lower your tax bill legally. That's the same thing as credit card like hacking or point hacking, is just learning that there's a world that you just need to understand the rules, learn how to play the game, and then you can enjoy the fruits of, or the perks of that world. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button if this video was valuable. I'll see you guys on the next video.